You just met this guy. He's cute and smoking hot. He just asked you out after some time, and you're wondering how this guy is so perfect. The thought that he might just be a player crosses your mind, but your mind would like to think otherwise. Players aren't looking for emotional intimacy or a long-term relationship, which often leads them to lie to their partners and cheat on them. Although some women choose to date a player because of some underlying psychological reasons, most of the time, they're just too tunneled vision to see the warning signs. You definitely need to know if he really is a player so you don't end up hurting yourself by being in a relationship with him. So in today's video, we'll be looking at the warning signs that should alert you to know if he's a player. Let's dive right in. Number 15. He doesn't show you off on his social media page. Nowadays, one of the ways to know if someone is really invested in you is by how they display their relationship with you on social media. If he doesn't show you off on social media, chances are that he's only playing you. He may toe the line of, "I'm a private person," but even if a person doesn't like showing off his partner online, little details like his relationship status on social media should at least be changed to "in a relationship." If he fails to do any of these, he probably doesn't value you or think much of the relationship. Number 14. He's never with you on weekends. Have you noticed that he never hangs out with you on weekends? Instead, he prefers to meet you on that quiet Tuesday or Wednesday night when you get off work. Men usually spend their weekends with their number one girl or use that time to hunt for new girls, and him not spending time with you on weekends only shows that you're not his number one and he's probably playing you. Number 13. He keeps his past dating life from you. Knowing your boyfriend's past is normal in any relationship. It's only natural to want to know whom he dated in the past and his breakups. Players tend to hide such details as they fear this would reveal what they actually are. Just think of it. If he tells you about people he dated in the past, and you realize he hasn't managed to maintain a relationship for more than a few months, you might begin to question his relationship with you, and a player certainly doesn't want that. Number 12. He tends to forget anything you tell him. This is one of the subtle signs which women need to notice in their men. If a guy is really into you, he can almost never forget what you tell him. He'll remember details of your life as if it were his own. He'll remember the little things you told him and even the big ones. A player doesn't care enough to actually listen. He's not really into you and just wants to have a good time with you. Number 11. He responds to important questions with a question. Players often find important questions, especially those related to commitment in the relationship, hard to answer. For example, he asks you whether you care about him when you ask about his feelings for you. When you ask about his commitment to your relationship, he asks you if you mistrust his emotions. It's obvious that he's trying to avoid important topics by blaming you for second-guessing his intentions. He's clearly hiding something and is probably a player. Number 10. He's distant in public. Have you noticed that he's often warm and affectionate when you're together alone, but cold and aloof when you're with him in public? What is happening is that he's concerned about getting caught by another one of his girls, or he doesn't want to show commitment to the relationship publicly. To further confirm this, try holding his hands in public and see how he reacts. Most guys will be fine with this, but a player will feel uncomfortable. Number 9. He values beauty over brains. Relationships with playboys are anything but serious. Players appreciate women just for their beauty and will not take the effort to learn anything more about them. Players usually prioritize sex over long-term relationships. Thus, they are less concerned about a woman's personality. Take note of the compliments he gives you. Is he more interested in your appearance or in who you are as a person? Is he making any effort to get to know you, or is he simply interested in one thing? If your partner regularly compliments only your appearance but does not inquire about your life, this is one of the more obvious signs he's playing you. He probably doesn't care about who you are, your interests, and even your weaknesses. If all he wants is to get intimate with you, then you should know he's a player. Number 8. He notices easily when a man makes a move on you. Have you noticed that when he sees a man coming towards you, he may become protective or claim that the other person is hitting on you? You might not even see it and just assume that he's simply jealous or crazy, just for him to later be proven right. This may surprise you, and you can start to wonder how he is so skilled at figuring such things out. The answer is quite simple. He's a player. A man that can easily spot such a thing is likely a player, and this is because he is quite skilled at making those moves himself. He knows every trick in the book, so when he observes someone getting too close to you in his presence, he immediately understands the other guy's intention. Number 7. He guards his phone intensely. Have you walked past him when he was on his phone and he quickly hides whatever he was doing? Or you've been dating for a while now and you still don't know his password, but he knows yours? You could even notice that he never leaves his phone anywhere you can easily pick it up. He probably has a lot of female friends that he doesn't want you to know about. Perhaps he's been intimate with them. He also has contacts and messages that he doesn't want you to know about, so he's sensitive when it comes to the phone. He'll try his best not to have his phone around. A guy that's completely genuine with you won't fear leaving his phone out or showing you something on his phone. Number 6. He doesn't communicate well. Does he call or message you only because he's looking to meet up? He doesn't text you to ask how your day went or to say hello? Small talk like this helps to create a connection since it shows he has you on his mind throughout the day and he wants to know more about what's going on in your life. If he exclusively calls you late at night and the chat is all about sex, then you are probably dating a player. Number 5. He enjoys playing mind games. If you are into reading romantic novels or watching telenovelas, you could assume that mind games are normal in a relationship. Besides, what could be more romantic than your boyfriend realizing how much you mean to him the moment another man is ready to whisk you away? However, this is the last thing you want to see in your relationship. Did you notice him flirt with other girls just because he saw you talking with a guy? Does he start playing hard to get once he sees you with a guy? If the answers to all these questions are yes, then he's a player. These are all warning signs that show he is manipulative and incapable of communicating properly. Communication is an important part of any relationship, and a guy that fails terribly at it is probably a player. Number 4. He is too friendly with girls. It's always wonderful when a guy you're dating is pleasant and gets along with your friends. However, that's not the type of friendship I'm talking about. I mean friendship with a hint of flirting. Take note of how friendly he seems to be with your friends and with whom. If he treats the woman in your life better than the guys, you should be concerned. He may be simply better at interacting with women than with guys, but it's also possible that he's hoping to get the ladies to like him because, well, who doesn't want to be loved? When you try to challenge him about it, he'd just blame you for being paranoid. However, you're right to question him, and he's just a player looking to have some fun with you. Number 3. He seems to have fallen in love with you easily. Who doesn't like a man who takes your breath away and showers you with attention and affection? You feel extraordinary and desirable. But is this genuine? Unfortunately, the majority of the time, the answer is no. He hasn't been with you long enough to fall head over heels in love, but he's had enough experience with women like you to know that this is a successful seduction technique. Unfortunately, the kisses, presents, and big gestures are fleeting. Love bombing is when a player lavishes attention on a lady until she is fully captivated by him. Soon after, they withdraw from the relationship, leaving the woman in a lot of pain. You sure as hell don't want this for yourself, so learn to recognize this sign in a man. Number 2. He has an incredible ability to make you feel guilty and vulnerable. His strategy is well planned out in order for him to avoid being heartbroken or humiliated. This is especially noticeable when he attempts to blame you in an argument. You're confident and even angry to tell him of something he did that hurt you. You tell him. The argument begins, and he plays the victim. Sometimes yells a little, becomes enraged, and accuses you of causing the whole thing. You're left feeling terrible and apologetic for bringing it up. I should have just shut up instead. I can't believe I'm so selfish, you would say to yourself. This is exactly how a player wants you to feel because he always wants you to think you need him. Number 1. He doesn't make future plans. It's very hard to get a player to make plans for more than a week in the future. That length of time is too much commitment for him. It's very natural when you're in a relationship to talk about your future with the guy or even joke about it. Things like, I want to have 2 kids, and I'd like us to get married beside a lake. A player will always avoid talk like this, as he's very scared of commitment. That's the major fear of any player, commitment. When you notice this attitude in a guy, you should stay away. There's a high chance that he's a player. Players exploit people to satisfy their own demands, with little regard for the needs of their partners. They don't want a relationship, they want power and sexual pleasure, and are ready to hurt their partner to attain it. Nobody enjoys being played. It insults your intelligence, makes it hard for you to trust people again, and shakes your emotional foundation. However, if you follow these warning signs, you'll have no problem spotting a player. So there you have it. Have you witnessed these behaviors yourself? How did you handle the situation? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more great tips. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in the next video.